Hey guys, this is Brantley and this is an easy guide to essay writing. First, let's look at essay structure. A basic 5-paragraph essay has 3 parts: an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. For your introduction, we'll have a hook and a thesis. For your body, we'll have a main idea sentence and support. Support can be divided into general support and specific support. For your conclusion, we'll have a recap and a conclusion. That's an overview of structure, but when we do our outline, we want to actually outline in a different order. For outline order, we always want to start with a clear thesis. Once you have a topic, write a clear thesis because your thesis will tell exactly what your essay is about. For essay outline order, write your clear thesis first. Then, for a 5-paragraph essay, write your 3 main idea sentences. After you write your 3 main idea sentences, list your supporting details. Finally, you can add your hook and conclusion last. Let's look at how to write a clear thesis. For your thesis, we will have 3 parts: a topic, an assertion, and a plan. Your topic says what your essay is about. Your assertion says what your unique claim is about your topic. An assertion should be arguable. What that means is that your assertion should be something that a reader can disagree with. A plan shows how you will divide your information for your reader. To make this more clear, let's look at an example. For example, Van Gogh's painting Starry Night represents the transition from Impressionist art to Expressionist art through 3 distinct characteristics. The topic is Van Gogh's Starry Night. The assertion is Starry Night represents the transition from Impressionist art to Expressionist art, and the plan is 3 distinct characteristics. Alright, after we write our thesis will guide us through the rest of the paper. When we have our thesis, the next thing we want to do is to write our main ideas. Our main ideas should repeat the important words from the topic, and our main ideas should have parallel structure. Next, on our outline, we can list our supporting details. We can list general support and specific support. After we finish our outline, we can write more specifically, and when we write, we want to make sure that we are paying attention to coherence, unity, and clarity. Coherence creates order in our essay. We create coherence by following sequence. When you write an essay, are you following time sequence, space sequence, or importance? When you create coherence, you can use clear transition markers. When you use transitions, use simple transition words and avoid complicated transitions. When you write paragraphs, when you write your support into paragraphs, make sure that your sentences create unity. All your ideas in one paragraph are one unit. Make sure that your main ideas for each of your paragraphs remains parallel. So if you change anything in your paragraph, make sure that you keep your main idea sentences parallel. You should vary the length of your sentences, some short sentences and some longer sentences. Make sure that each sentence in your paragraph leads to the next sentence. And finally, clarity. To create clarity, write your sentences using actors and actions. Have strong verbs that have strong subjects. To have strong verbs, make sure you're using action verbs. Use concise words. Repeat important information. We're going to define important terms for our readers. And when we write, we want to create images using words. So we want our readers to be able to see what we're talking about. Let's look at our hook. Our hook is also background. It leads to the topic and it must be interesting. There are several different types of hooks. We can create a hook by using these elements. We can use questions. We can use a problem. Very often with a problem, the hook will be the problem and the thesis will be the solution. We can use a story, facts, statistics, quote, a hypothetical situation. We can use a contrary fact or situation. What this means is that our hook is an opposite fact to our thesis. Or we can use background information. With our hook, we can combine one or two of these together to create a hook, but we don't want our hook to be too complicated. When we create a hook, your hook should lead the reader to the thesis. Your hook should create a mood for your essay. Your hook should not be too long or too short. Make sure that your hook is interesting. If it's not interesting, it's not a hook. Your hook should give background for your reader if it's necessary for them to understand the essay. One thing I always like to say is your hook is related to your thesis, but your hook is not your thesis. So what that means is your hook will give your reader information, but your hook is not exactly the same thing as your thesis. So your hook is related, but it's not the same thing. All right, finally, let's look at the conclusion. For our conclusion, the first thing your conclusion does is it restates your thesis, or it restates the main idea of your essay. And then we can conclude your essay by doing one of these things. We can extend your summary to have a longer summary. We can return to your hook. So whatever your hook was, we will return to the idea of your hook. This kind of creates a circle from the beginning of the essay to the end of the essay and connects the two. We can make a prediction. What is going to happen in the future after this essay? We can connect your ideas of your essay to the bigger picture. Your essay is smaller details. How do those smaller details relate to the bigger world? Or finally, the last thing we can do here is to call your reader to action. Now that the reader knows the information that you've written in your essay, what should the reader do? All right. Those are the things that that's the easy way to write an essay. So that's the basic ideas here. That's how the structure of an essay, that's the outline of an essay. And that's a great start for you for beginning to write your essay. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those in the comments. And thank you very much for listening.